Alright, hi guys, welcome back. What is up? I am so excited to be recording the 3 months on Etsy recap video because September was a huge month for my shop. If you're new here, my name is Haley and I launched HappyTypeStudio this year. It is the small art business of my dreams. I have always dreamed of running my own little small art business, and this is the year I'm finally doing it. So originally I started off selling printable digital downloads. This month was the year that I finally tackled selling real products. And I started off with small art prints and bookmarks. And oh my god, guys, it was a massive month. It was so huge, it was so exciting. I mean, maybe I'm getting a little ahead of myself. It was still small because I'm a small art business. But for me, it felt huge. I was really thrilled with how this month went. And you know, I just feel like it's been so exciting because I've been putting in the hard work. I, am not just trying to do some get rich quick, passive income, make easy money thing. I don't use print on demand, and I definitely don't use AI for anything, not my art, not my listings, not even my descriptions or anything, not ideas. I am doing this the hard way and I want to do it that way because I want to do things like shipping orders and making prints and making things handmade and pouring all of my love into these products, and that is what I did this month, and I am just so excited to share with you guys how it went. And without further ado, I am going to go over first this month's stats for just September, and then I'm gonna give you guys a little bit of an overview of how the first 90 days have gone for me on Etsy. So let's get into it. Okay, so obviously I have to start by showing you my shop so you know kind of what I sell. And here we are. Here's what it's looking like at the end of the month. I'm in love. I love it. I don't care what anyone else thinks. I think my shop is so cool. So you can see here, all of these pretty much that I'm scrolling through are the new listings that I launched this month. The art prints and the bookmarks, and here the autumn collection. So I added 27 new listings this month. 3 of those were printable digital downloads, and 16 of those were the small art prints, the 5x7s that you see, and then 8 of those were bookmarks. But when you consider the fact that all of my 5x7 prints and bookmark prints are bundles, that actually means that I launched 41 art print designs and 30 different bookmark designs. So huge month, biggest update for the shop ever. And I couldn't be more thrilled with how this month went. So let's check out those stats, right? Again, this is the whole reason why you clicked on this video. I had 211 visits this month and 6 orders. You guys, 6 orders! I can't believe it! I was so excited. That means my revenue was $88.85 and my conversion rate was 2.8%. I haven't talked about my conversion rate much. It is my first year, so staying humble and staying real is very important. But if you are not familiar, a good conversion rate for Etsy is somewhere around 1 to 3%. So basically you get 100 views, you get 1 order. So I feel like I'm kind of crushing it. I don't know. I feel like I'm not crushing it. Like, this is very average, but considering I'm still new, I feel like just thrilled to be average. Let's see. Another thing I love looking at when I do these recap videos is the line chart, graph, whatever you want to call it here for the whole month. You can see a definite difference from the first half of the month where I was still only selling printable digital downloads to my first big launch, which was the 5x7 art prints. And then this day was the bookmarks launch. And after that, I was getting still pretty great views. And then September 30th was the day that I did the autumn collection launch. So I didn't get many views that day because it was an evening launch. and you will see all those stats next month. But yeah, I don't know. I always think it's really fascinating looking at this, especially because this month is kind of a clear difference between the first half and the second half from the different types of products that I launched. So going back to the revenue though, the $88.85, I know people are always curious how the Etsy fees factor into things, and that is something that I try and include each month. So this is the tab for my fees and net profit for September. So you can see here my sales, total sales and sales tax here, but the fees for this month is the real one. So there was listing fees, transaction fees, processing fees, and then I did get a bit of a refund from Etsy's share and save, which basically means if somebody buys something through a link that you shared, then you get a little bit of a refund. So that means my grand total for fees this month was $17.45. And you'll also see here there was a little tiny shipping fee. I offer free shipping on all of my products, but I did do a little bit of testing with one of them that was for a friend, so that I could learn a little bit about how that works on the back end. And so basically, all in all, my net profit for September, which is my revenue minus my fees, is $70.66. Not too bad if I say so myself. I'm gonna go back to the stats page though and scroll down a little bit. You get a couple other stats here just aside from the views and orders. So I had 9 item favorites, 13 shop follows. One of my buyers this month was a repeat buyer. Thank you to them. If you're watching this video, I love you. I started getting some reviews from some of these orders, which was really sweet of the people that bought those items to leave me reviews. But what you guys are really more curious about probably is how my shoppers found me. So I do still have a pretty even split. Etsy brought in 55% of the visits and I brought in 45. Social media accounted for about half of those, and then the other half was direct and other traffic, which I've learned through kind of poking around on here. You know, if I click on this and I scroll down, oh, would you look at that? It says that 19 of these direct visits are from YouTube. So if that's one of you guys, hey, hi, what's up? I hope you like my shop. You should consider subscribing. But yeah, let's get back to the stats. And go back down. So another thing I wanted to touch on here, Etsy app and other Etsy pages. It really doesn't give you a lot about where those views are coming from. What does that mean? It's just so vague. It shows, you know, what listings people are looking at, and I do have some search terms here, but you can see the highest search term, that's just my shop name. So people have to already know me to be searching for my shop, right? And some of the rest of these are just some random search terms, which is cool to know, but doesn't feel super helpful to me because they're not exactly the things that I thought would be the search terms I would be seeing. So not really sure what to do with that information. But going back to the stats of how shoppers found me, and when you consider the fact that, you know, people are searching for my Etsy shop, HappyTypeStudio, and that is how they're finding me, and that's counting as an Etsy visit. Technically, that's not really an Etsy visit because they already know about my shop. They're not finding me through a random search on Etsy that brings them to my shop. They're finding me because they already know about me. So I don't know, it's kind of interesting to think about. I thought I would be getting more views from Etsy and people searching for things like art prints or bookmarks or gifts for book lovers or those sorts of SEO things that I've spent so long researching. And instead, I'm pulling a lot of the weight. I'm bringing in a lot of my audience, which is really cool when you think about it. Another thing I am really curious about here, if any of you guys know the answer to this, please drop a comment and let me know, because my Google researching has not given me an answer. It has this traffic from your share and save links. I've gotten 140 clicks. And originally I thought that was like these, visits that I brought in with direct or social media. I'm sharing these links all over the place, Pinterest and Instagram and social media and, whatever. But this only adds up to like what, 94? That's very different than 140 clicks. So I don't exactly know how these clicks count for how your shoppers found you, but if any of you guys know the answer to that, please let me know. Next up, I do want to talk a little bit about how my first 90 days has gone as a whole, because doing these month by month snapshots is really cool, but I told you guys I'm being way more strategic about the way I'm running things, and you can't just look at one a month, you kind of have to look at the big picture, and I want to show you guys that too. So let's change this date range. I launched on June 25th, so that would be 6/25, and 90 days from that would be September 23rd, technically not the 30th, for being really technical. And here's what it looks like. I'm a little sad that it doesn't show more detail like you get with the 30 days. Like they could do this by week instead of month. Etsy, come on, we can do better. But it is really cool to see that I have had 526 visits and 11 orders since I've launched in June. And my revenue is $140.30. I didn't know it had gotten that high. Like, what? And also, like, what? More than half of that was this month, I guess? That's so cool. So yeah, let's click on, look at that. That is just so cool. I haven't looked at this yet, if you can't tell. So you can see it's made a big difference that I have added physical products instead of trying to sell my art in printable form. And I like the printable digital downloads because it offers a way to get my art to more people. It's more accessible. They can print it in any size, and right now I'm only offering one size that I'm able to ship out, but I'm gonna be adding more eventually. So pros and cons to everything, right? Oh, okay, one other thing I wanted to show though, let's scroll down here. I've had 28 favorite items. I've had 24 shop follows. That's super cool. And when I look at the traffic source of how shoppers find me, which again, keeping in mind that technically in my mind, I don't think all of these Etsy app and Etsy pages views count as Etsy views because they already know my shop. I'm pulling my weight. Like, I'm bringing in 56% of the visits, and I, launched on Etsy because I wanted to get those views through the Etsy shop. And it is also, frankly, a really good way to learn as a beginner, but I'm bringing in most of my views. So, hey, Etsy, come on now. You need to pull some weight too. So we've gone over how this month went, and we've looked a little bit at how the past 90 days as a whole has gone, but what is the advice that I would give right now based off my third month on Etsy? And first off, I'm definitely gonna say the number one thing that I learned this month is that your friends want to support you, and you need to let them. When I first started, I was honestly a little bit, I don't know, I guess embarrassed to be posting all the time, to be like, I started an Etsy shop, please go follow my Etsy and also my YouTube. Because I felt like I was being a little obnoxious, and I'm trying not to be super self-promoting on like my personal accounts, because that's the whole reason why I created the business accounts and the separate, whatever. But most of my orders this month have been from people that I know, the people that have seen me making art all this time, and they've been cheering me on and saying, this is incredible, you should sell this. And surprise, surprise, They want to support me. And you know, I feel like it's silly to think that that's a lesson that you need to learn, but your friends want to support you and you should let them. You should let them in on your dreams and your goals and the things that you're working on, and let them cheer you on. The second thing I've learned this month is give people a reason to be excited about your shop and get them coming back to see what you're up to. Because, you know, on one hand, yes, I have been working really hard to make cool things, but the way that I'm posting about it also makes a difference. So I, this month, plan to do 3 different launches, and oh my God, was it a lot of work. But I was sharing about how excited I was hyping it up, I made it special, I did really unique launch photos for everything, and that gave people a reason to be excited about my shop and see what I was up to and see what new things is Haley adding this week. So that is definitely something that I will be continuing to do in the future because I feel like it was really successful. The third thing that I learned this month is nobody cares about your failures like you do. In fact, they probably won't even know about them because, yeah, I had a couple failures this month, like the autumn collection that I originally planned to launch. I had a couple failures this month, and honestly, I didn't even have time to post about them because I barely have enough time to post about my actual launches and products. But like, for example, the autumn collection was originally planned to launch on the, you guessed it, first day of fall. And that did not happen. I announced it on the first day of fall and then was so busy the whole week after that that I barely posted about it at all. And then it launched a day late still. It was I pushed it back a week to the 29th, and then I didn't actually launch it until the 30th. But did anyone care about that? No. I was the only one that cared about that, really. So, you know, whatever. And another thing this month was I launched bookmarks, right? And in the listing photos for basically all of my bookmarks, they're all misprinted. Every single one of them. Because I was working on the launches and taking the listing photos, and I only had so much time before the launch, and I misprinted almost all of them. So like one side would be fine, and then the back side would be misaligned or upside down or whatever. And I literally have a whole stack of bookmarks that are all misprints, which, you know, is so cool and fun, but nobody cares. Nobody cares. Nobody even knows. Now you do, but that's what I'm talking about. Basically, nobody cares about your failures. Okay, last but not least, I'm going to talk about my goals for the month of October. So I said a little bit in the last video that I was getting way more strategic with how I'm running things, and it definitely paid off. I made a whole business plan for Q3 and Q4. I wrote the sales goals that I had, the, you know, product launches that I wanted to do, the sales and promos that I wanted to run. I wrote all of it down in August, and I am gonna revisit it each month and see what is realistic and do I still want to accomplish what I originally planned, and make adjustments from there. So first up is my sales goal. And for the month of October, I am saying that I wanna make 7 sales. And I guess I should rephrase the way I'm saying this. It's really an order goal, I guess, because Etsy counts orders, but if one order has 3 items in it, that's still just one order, not 3 sales. So really, I made 19 sales in September because I sold 19 products, but it only counts as 6 orders. You know, so I'm just gonna go with what Etsy does because that's easiest for the stats videos. And, you know, I made 6 orders in September, and my goal each month is to improve, and this actually lines up with what I originally wrote. So 7 orders, that's my goal for October. Next is the new products that I want to launch for October. I want to add 12-month printable calendars. I have like 17-month academic versions up right now, and they will be discounted through the end of the year if anyone's interested in those. But if probably more realistic that people want 12-month calendars, and I also have a lot of other designs that I want to get up. So that is one of my goals for this month. And I also want to launch, you're gonna hear it here first, stickers. I know. If you're watching this video before I actually launch the stickers, consider yourself like a super insider, because I haven't shared this anywhere. I've never printed stickers before. I just bought the sticker paper. I'm gonna make them myself, and before you ask, no, I don't have a Cricut. So we're gonna see how this goes. I know I've seen other shops do this before where they make them by hand, and it's a bit of a labor of love. And that is what I'm gonna try and figure out this month. Another goal that I have is to continue to focus on strategic promos and discounts. So I do feel like my September ones didn't quite land as successful as I hoped. The new product launches were really successful, but the actual promos and like sales discounts that I ran, I don't think were a part of that. So one of the things I've already started doing with the autumn collection, since it was launched on the September 30th, so you're gonna see a lot of those stats really in the next month video, but I am doing a first 24 hours launch sale, and I'm gonna do that for all of the new products that I launched this month. So if anyone orders something within the first 24 hours of it launching, they will get it for a discounted price. And I'm also gonna try a Halloween sale. This is the first month with a major holiday, and I have holiday specific items, so we'll see how that goes. Listen, if you're still watching at this point, thank you so much. It means the world to me. I hope you found this video entertaining and informative in some way. And if you are also in the same boat as me and you are in, your first few months of running your Etsy shop, drop a comment, say hi, what do you sell? What are you up to? How are your stats going? I want to get to know you guys, And I am really excited about October. I want to keep the momentum going. If you guys are excited to see everything that I have in store that I've just talked about with all my goals and planning, please give this video a like and subscribe to my channel so that you can see everything that I'm up to this month. There might be a few surprises in store. I will see you guys in the next video. I've done really well. Haven't fumbled in a while. Okay,